Well, hi. Oh, I'm like tired and I've been sitting here working all day, which is a great thing. Um, but I thought it was probably time for an update. I actually was waiting to do this with Brian, and we're just not home at the same time anymore. So he is alive and well, I promise. Like things are good for the most part. Um, I just wanted to do a little quick update on kind of what's going on, how we are, and where we're at, and what we're doing, and yeah, all the stuff. Okay. So last time we were on YouTube, um, was a rough day. um, that was the end of August. The very end of August, I think, is when our account got canceled. With a direct sales company we were with for almost 17 years. Out of the blue, no warning. Literally just I still think about it sometimes. I'm like, I don't even how to still don't know how it happened. So that was the very end of August. Then honestly, like September was just a blur. Like we were just surviving. And Brian immediately went out and got a job. So he jumped right into private health insurance, which was fine, but um, it just is not the right fit for him for sure. So um, he did that for about 6 weeks, and it was really, really challenging. I just stayed home. We went from like us being kind of a pair, a partnership, and being able to like we had spent over 10 years working together from home, raising our kids, and then all of a sudden it's like now totally different. So, um so I just kind of became the main parent for the most part while he was working like 60 hours a week or something. It was not great. Um so that kind of happened for I think 6 weeks. And we still the farm was still up and running at that point, so we were still I was busy just like with kids and finishing up the farm. We were doing events and still stocking our flower stand every day, so that was good. And then we fast forwarded. He left that job, got offered an opportunity in roofing, which he had done roofing before, and so it just felt like the right fit and the right move. And so he took that, and it has been such a blessing. Totally different, like him just getting to operate in his skill set. So he is now in roofing. If you need roofing or construction or anything that has to do with any of that stuff, Brian can help you. Um, so that's where we're at now, and that's been really, really, really great. And then in the process of all of that, so once we had our first freeze, I think is really when I started grieving because it was like this business was gone, all of our income was gone. We still have 4 kids and life continues to move on. And so it's just such a challenge to like walk through all of that. Um, so we did all of that. And then it was, oh, I'm just trying to think. It was really, I think when we had our first frost and everything in the field froze, and I was like, what do I do now? And I just really felt like the Lord honestly, there was so much grief that I really uh, I don't want to say I wasn't functioning. I was functioning. I was taking care of my family and doing all those things, but like I could not wrap my brain around like, well, what do I do now? Like no clue. So, um I really just spent some time, several weeks, I mean, into a couple months of really just spending every day at the feet of Jesus. Like, okay, and asking some really hard questions like, okay, what the heck are we supposed to do now, really? Um, and so it's just like there was so much also that we had to manage financially that just out of the blue that we didn't, you don't expect to lose your income. I mean, I don't think most people do when something like that happens. And so there was so much to manage financially. That was a lot. And then, like I said, just like life going on. And so I really was forced kind of into this posture of sitting with the Lord and asking, honestly, asking the questions that we have asked of couples that we've worked with in marriage, like for the past, I don't know, we've been helping marriages for like 8 years or something. Um, and I was like, I told Brian one day, I'm like, the Lord is really forcing us to ask the same questions of ourselves that we have asked other people all the time, like for years. Like, what were you made to do? Who do you want to be? What's God calling you to? And I was just in this season of really wrestling with those questions and having to rethink everything and basically starting from nothing all over again, So it's been a wild ride. Recently we there's still so much. I was we were talking last night and I was like, "Babe, it's funny that like we were last year in December we were stressed because we were behind on our taxes and that's stressful." Um and but that was like the only thing going on. And I'm like, "Now I'm like, all the things we're trying to juggle and manage and rebuild and fix and sell and reorganize and just literally our whole lives turned upside down. I'm like, now being behind on our taxes, I'm like, it's just one more thing. Put it in the pile. Like, it's just, I guess what I'm saying is like, I think our capacity is growing in this season where God is really like stretching us and like showing us what we're actually capable of. Um, I was having a conversation with one of my best friends yesterday, and I was having a really hard day yesterday. I really actually don't I have not really I've had more good days than bad days lately. It's like but yesterday was payday and I just sometimes I there's this bitterness that arises that I get mad. Like I get mad that you spend so long working to build something and create something and then it's just gone. Like, oh, it's just and so I have to pray through like, okay, like, but there's nothing I can do about it now at this point. Like, I just actually have to move on with my life. So I was just in a mood yesterday and I totally forgot what I was gonna say. I don't know. That's not helpful. I don't know where I was going with that. This shows you how old I am. Oh, I know. We were talking about she's walking through some freaking junk too. So many people in my life are walking through junk right now, and that's so hard. But I was just she was saying like, but you did lose so much. She was trying to validate how I was feeling. Like you lost so much and so many opportunities and so many friendships and so many relationships and so many like you lost so much. And I actually, like, I was thinking about it, I was like, I did. Like, yes, I lost the financial security of what I thought we had for a very, very long time. Like, we didn't ever plan on leaving. We thought that 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 it would always be a part of our life. And um so yes, we lost something. I said, but also like I'm beginning to understand this new sense of freedom of what it feels like to actually be free and that possibly the tension that I was feeling like in the last few years was really this like inability to move, like this inability to make it to do anything essentially. And so I told her I was like, yes, we did lose something and I'm not going to negate that and I'm not going to say that that's not true. But also, I guess just being a few months removed and being able to look towards the future in a different way than I ever have been, I feel very it's funny, I laugh because we have more literal stuff we have to actually deal with, like, financially. Like, and it's like things just keep getting added on. Like, we're getting audited. I'm like, "Of course we are." Put it in the pile. Like, one more thing I have to deal with. Like, just stuff that I'm like, "Okay, well, okay. I really don't have the capacity to handle that right now, but also I'm watching God increase my capacity." So even though, like, we're in the middle, honestly, of a mess, and one of my other friends yesterday said, "You're just in the messy middle," and I'm like, "Okay, we are." But I also can see like, I can see more optimistically into the future. Like, things are going really well with Brian's job. I think that it's such a good place for him to be. Um, I'm so excited about this community that we're launching on Friday in 2 days. I'm really not ready. I really am supposed to be continuing writing content right now. But I just wanted to update y'all, and I'll talk about that in a second. But, like, I see a way forward, and, so even in the middle of all of it, like, crying in my attorney's office yesterday and, like, just the things that are happening, I'm like, "Okay, there's still more good days than bad," and, like, I'm seeing the winds change, and I think so much of it is just this season of sitting and remembering who I am and getting this, like, fire lit back underneath me, I guess, and, um, yeah, I don't know. It has been a wild ride, like, but we're doing good. Like, we're doing the best we can in this situation, in this circumstance where we're at, we are doing the best we can. And I will say, like, we have the most amazing community, like the most amazing people around us. And I know that I've said this before, like, I cannot imagine having to walk through this when we were still living in our old house in Edmond. Like, I think God has just so radically shifted my perspective on what comfort is and what wholeness is and what is actually important. I spent so much time mourning that house and, like, truly missing, like, the physical space and safety of that home. And I would not for any amount of money right now trade, and that sounds so crazy, but there is just something different about where we are, like, and that was hard too, like, getting planted in a new community, a very small community, was so challenging. Like, there's just no other way to describe it. It was so challenging. But now, like, now, being vested in the community, getting messy in the middle of it, and truly getting to know people and saying I have dear friends that I can go sit and just actually tell all my mess with at the nutrition shop yesterday too. Like, literally, like, is so it's invaluable. Like, I can't put a price on it, how how grateful I am that we are here as we've walked through all of this. Um, so there's that. Okay, so tomorrow we are not tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday. Praise God, not tomorrow because I'm not ready. Friday, if all goes as planned. There's, like, so many things that still have to kind of fall in place that I'm waiting on that I don't have control over. Um, and it's just stuff that it's like details. But I am creating this paid women's community. So it is just for women. So I'm sorry if you're a man and you're offended by that, but tough luck, it's for women. And the entire purpose of it is to create space for women to come and heal and dream and rest and grow in whatever area of their life they feel called to. And it also, it like comes from, honestly, this is like this dream and this vision I have had for so many years. Like, that God was just preparing me at some point to actually step into this, because I literally wrote a manifesto for this like 3 years ago. I mean, on a piece of poster board with a Sharpie, and it's still the thing that is hanging over my desk because it is so deeply ingrained, like, in who I am and what I believe. And the whole thing is centered around the belief that as we grow in who we are in Christ, so as I grow in my confidence in who God made me to be, that I then can walk more confidently in the direction that He is leading. So, Brian and I have spent years talking about dreams, and dream chasing and encourage couples to dream together and all of that. I need to talk about that in a second. But it's like I know deep in my soul that there is that well, I mean, the Bible just says it like that we were all created by a creator to create. You were created by the creator of the universe in his image to create, which means you were put on this earth to create things that only you can do. That you were put here in this time in all the years to come and be exactly who you were made to be, to offer something to the world that only you can offer, that you are unique and you are powerful and you have something to give. Now, what this doesn't mean, and I don't want anybody to think that this is what I'm saying. I do not believe that you have to have influence or power or position to change the world. I believe that the world is changed in the way that you live out your life day by day in the people that are closest to you. So for some of you, that may mean that, like, literally doing the things that God is calling you to and chasing the dreams in your heart right now in this season means being home with your babies and stewarding that well and finding joy and peace in growing as a mom and growing as a wife. For others of you, you're past that season and there's something brewing and bubbling in you that's more. And I believe very deeply inside me that it is not egotistical to dream, that it is not too late to dream, that the things that God has planted, that like passion in your soul, the rumbling of something, it matters. I believe that it's there because God wanted you to do something about it. And it's so easy for us to get caught in comparison and get caught up in the lies of the enemy that tell us that we are not enough or we're too much or we're too late or whatever, like all those things. Like, no, you're right on time. And who you're becoming is more and more of this child of God. And so what also, like, what I want people to understand is, like, I do not think you have to go do huge things to be rooted in who God made you to be. One thing I have learned over the past couple of years that is the biggest blessing to me is that my identity is not shaped by what I do. My identity is in who I was made to be, that as a child of God, as a citizen of the kingdom of heaven here on earth. That is where my identity comes from, not in the things that I achieve or accomplish or in the accolades that I get or in the money that I make. It's not any of that. All of that can stop. I could literally not do anything for the rest of my life, and the God of the universe would not love me any less. And I know that that is so hard for some people to wrap their brains around. Like, but think about your kids, like, especially when they're little. You know how they're just sometimes they're hard. Like babies are hard and toddlers are hard and they're beautiful and they're amazing. And then they fall asleep. And you look at them and it doesn't matter what the day was like. And you look at them and think, I just love them. Like, and it doesn't matter how many fits they threw or how many times they screamed no at you or what kind of mess they made. It doesn't matter. You just love them. And there's nothing they could do, nothing that would make you stop loving them. And that is the way God sees you, but even more because our capacity as humans to love is influenced by our sinful nature. But God, his love for us is perfect and it has nothing to do with what we do or achieve. And so there is this like tension between dream chasing and what I believe is this period of healing and rest and these cycles. I don't even want to say period. I think it's cycles of healing and rest that are necessary for growth and for dream chasing. So I don't want anybody to think that, like, well, maybe I am in this cycle of rest or reflection, or I'm in this cycle of healing from some things that I need to work through. And I'm not really like doing anything right now. That's okay. Like you don't always have to be doing something for the kingdom of God because part of who you're becoming is what is going to empower you to go actually do the things that God's going to call you to. But it all comes from your health, your emotional well being, your physical well being, your ability to get up, your ability to look at the world with the eyes of God, to have compassion, to have empathy towards people. Those things come from rest. They come from reflection. They come from growth. They come from taking time to heal. And so those pieces are just as important to the cycle of dreaming as anything else. So I guess that's what I'm saying. This community is really, it's actually based on two simple steps that I have implemented in my life over the past, probably honestly for the past 8 years, where it is daily reflection through journaling and daily Bible reading. And those two things coupled together have so much power in this world where we are given fast information over and over again. We're flipping through reels, we're flipping through TikToks, like that things are fast and moving. God calls us to slow and still. And it is really our duty and our on and our like obligation to sit and reflect. And when we write with a pen on a piece of paper, which I know I've preached this for so long, our the physical, like the chemistry of our brain actually changes, and we actually are able to reflect and process what we actually feel and think, as opposed to regurgitating or just repeating information that we have seen or heard or experienced online. Not every, it's like I tell my kids, just because it's on the internet doesn't mean it's true. Like, just because somebody posted something that looks where they look happy doesn't mean they are. Just because someone said X, Y, and Z about this is going to happen doesn't mean it is. Like, you you don't have to be an expert to show up on YouTube. Look at me. I am on YouTube and I am not an expert, but it's so vital in this I think in this day and time more than any, that we create these rhythms of reflection in our lives where we really are processing, what do I think and what do I feel and who am I becoming? And why does it matter? Well, it matters to the heart of God because part of who we're becoming. Ultimately, what God does is he sanctifies us. Sanctification is the process of us becoming more like Christ in our lifetime. Well, I cannot become more like Christ if I don't even know what the heck I think and feel. If I don't know what I believe, if I don't know where I stand with God, if I don't know the character of God. So all of these pieces are so vital to the process of us growing and becoming more like Christ. And so that's really what this women's, that's the very long version of what this women's community is created for. I'm so like over the top excited. I can't sleep. And it's not because of worry or anxiety, even though I have plenty of things to be worried and anxious about. Like plenty, put it in the pile. We'll get to it later. But I I literally can't sleep because I know that God has been preparing me this very thing for a very long time. Um, it's making me emotional because I'm still scared and I'm still like sometimes like I want to stall out and go, wait, maybe not now, maybe next month. Like, but that's how like doing things that matters feel. Like if I look back on the most impactful and life-changing decisions and moments of my life, there is not one of them that I was not afraid, and then we acted anyways. Like, that I was not a little bit unsure and a little bit doubtful and a little bit like, "Wait, I don't know." But and even as I say that, like, there's also this peace and calm and confidence. So it's super weird, I can't describe it, like, that I'm scared. And I know with like I know with everything in me that this is the direction I'm supposed to go. And I guess part of it too is that I recognize and I've learned over the past several years as we have been chasing big dreams that your dreams change, they ebb and flow. And this is all like I'm in the middle of like writing some of this content, but our dreams ebb and flow and they change over time. And I guess sometimes the thing that I'm scared of is like I start going, well, like, but what if this isn't the thing forever? It's not going to be the thing forever. Like it's the thing that is right now. And who knows what it looks like in a year? Who knows what it looks like in 5 years? Who knows how it evolves and changes? All of it's okay. So I think in my personality wants to do things right and to not like to not make a mistake. And so that's where my second guessing comes from sometimes. I'm like, is this the right thing? But the other part of me that I know so innately, like, actually, one of our rules in the group is that you understand that failure is part of the process. Like, that you will fail, you will mess up, you will make a misstep as you chase big dreams. And it's just that's how we learn. And so I've actually been saying that this week so much. It's like things just keep coming at us. I'm like, sometimes you win and sometimes you learn. And I guess we're learning is what we're doing. So that's kind of where we're at. I'm super excited. Real quick, if you are interested in hopping into this group, it's called the Dreaming Co. I am like over the top. Think of it as coaching for women who want to gain confidence in who they are in Christ and go chase big size dreams. That's what it is. Um, I can't wait. I really can't wait. So it's going to open on Friday if all things go well. Um, like I said, there's a couple things out of my control that have to come to fruition first, just to make sure we're set up right. So opening Friday. If it does open Friday, which I'm hoping it will, Friday night we will do like a little intro to the group. We'll do that again next Wednesday night. So it's like whenever you get in, you're gonna have the recording of that and you'll get to see like, okay, this is what I can expect and this is what I'm getting, whatever. It's a 1 week free trial. After that, for those that join in December, we have a founding member price of $39 a month. And as long as you stay in the group, you get that price for forever and ever. Starting in January, it will be $49 a month. And then that'll be what it is. So um, that's happening Friday. Saturday morning, inside the community, we are doing a 2025 Dreaming and Vision 2-hour workshop. It is jam packed. Like, I've written and rewritten it probably 10 times, but it is so like everything that I know I need as I go into the new year and that I know is going to bless you as well. So that happens on Saturday morning. So even if you do not plan to stay in the group or you can't afford to be a part of the group right now, I totally I 100% get it. Like totally get it. Um you can still get in the group for that free trial and and get that workshop and get some of the resources that are available in there while you have that 1 week free access. Does that make sense? And that's why I wanted to open it right before so that you could get you could get the most out of your free 1 week trial. Okay. Before I go, real quick, an update on the dream marriage. So we I called a friend yesterday and I was like, what do we do with this? Like, do we set up a business? Do we do an LLC? And she's like, I think you just keep following the favor. And I'm like, I don't know what it is right now. So, Brian and I started our podcast in January. Um, we have loved recording that podcast and we've loved your feedback. And I know it's been beneficial. We let our website close. Um, the the platform we were hosting it on was $200 a month. We can't afford $200 a month right now. I am going to rebuild it in something cheaper or free at the beginning of the year. Just because we have free resources on there and we want to be able to offer those free resources. Um, but like right now, it's just, I don't know. Here's what's wild. God just keeps bringing people to us. Like out of the blue, someone will come and reach out and say, "Hey, can you guys help us with this?" Or we're struggling with this. And so it's just like I'm not really sure what that looks like. And I'm just kind of putting it out there because it is like such the heart, it's like our heartbeat. And we just have this passion and fire to help women to help couples like have marriages that honor God and have families that are centered around the truth of who God is and what he's called us to as families and children of God. And it's just like it is our heartbeat. But right now it's like we don't know how that works. Before it was really we had the margin and we had the resources you know, to do things with it. And we just don't right now. And so I don't know what that looks like. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. You can pray about that and see if the Lord gives you any sort of revelation. It is like I said, I hope that we can start the podcast up. Like Brian and I are doing our dream week. We do a dream week with our kids and each other where we just really sit down and pray about and let God cast vision for the year ahead. And so I think the podcast is, I hope, maybe involved in that in next year, but I don't know what that looks like. And it's going to take some restructuring of our time and then rebuilding of resources, which we just don't have right now to move forward with that. So I don't know. I don't know what that looks like. And it's for sure our heart, and we want to help continue to help in however God leads that. So it's something we're praying about, especially as we look into the new year. But I don't know. I don't know what it looks like. So there's the update on that. And then we'll be farming again really before we know it. We'll start seeding and starting babies really soon. And we have greenhouses to put up. So we have big plans for the flower house and the farm and all of that. We really want to have more events. One of our greenhouses actually is just going to be it's going to be a hospitality greenhouse. So it'll be for the you pick nights that we do for birthday parties, for we're going to do some date night dinners, dirty date nights and kinds of things. I'm super excited about that. Like that is a sweet dream that I think God just bl- literally blossomed out of nowhere, and it has given us life. In this season. So, anyways, that's the update. Very long, sorry. But now, if you were wondering what we're up to, that's what we're up to. I wish Brian were here, but he's working hard, and I'm so grateful for him. And I'm really grateful for all of you who have reached out to us and just encouraged us. Like seriously, like your encouragement means more than you know. And yeah, we are making steps towards the future. And I'm actually I just love that it's the end of the year and we kind of get to sit and start fresh next year. And so, anyways, that's what we're doing. And if you are a woman, if you are a woman and you want to join us in the Dreaming Co, I would love to have you. I'd be so honored. It is like I literally can't sleep. And that's a good thing, I guess. So, anyways, thanks for following along. There's the update, and I hope you're doing well. Talk to you soon.